Hey guys, welcome to the Progressive Social Warriors, where we speak truth to power, where we speak truth to the Republican Party and the Democratic Party, but especially the Democratic Party, because that's why we have Trump. So, what do we get into today? We're going to talk about the healthcare system. Remember guys, I am from Canada. Even though my channel is based on American politics, I am going to talk about healthcare because I want to shed light on some of the misinformation. I see some of my American brothers and sisters hearing about our healthcare system. So I got a video that I thought best explains our healthcare system in Canada. So I'm going to go through it with you guys. I'm going to stop you here and there and just explain some of the experiences that I have in Canada. So here we go. Let's start this video.
Just as a Canadian who's always had healthcare, I just don't get it. I mean, every westernized country in the world has it, and the U.S. doesn't. It's always just seemed remarkable to me. I mean, how can you not have it? Like, your health is everything.
Healthcare in Canada is something of a birthright.
I don't have anything bad to say about our health system. It's done right by me.
It allows Canadians to sit at home and know that they're not going to get wiped out by medical bills.
And let's be clear, these are real Canadians, and I am also a real Canadian. So what I'm going to be telling you is the honest to God truth.
Anyone can access healthcare. Anybody at all, no matter how severely sick they are, or they're mildly sick. It's just paid for in our taxes. It's not like you see a statement, you never see how much it costs, but it's always there and it's taken care of.
You book the appointment, you go, and the card, you just give them your number and good to go.
If you're in trouble, you can get health care and not end up with a bill that's going to kill you.
Not anything that we even talk much about anymore. It's something you take for granted.
We rely on it, we just don't think about it.
And it's only when we hear our neighbors talk about it, when we talk to our friends in the United States, that we understand what a gift it is.
We don't even think about it. It's a birthright. I don't remember not having health care in my whole life, and I couldn't imagine not having it. It's crazy that the richest country in the world does not have health care, and that they can actually convince you guys that your system is the greatest system when it's one of the worst systems I've ever heard of in my life. Your health insurance is basically my car insurance. So basically, if I get into a car accident and I have to go fight with my car insurance to pay for it, or how much am I going to get, or deductibles and all this bullshit, you guys are doing that with your health. That's unbelievable, man. You guys need to wake up and stop talking about Russia and start talking about real shit like healthcare, which you guys deserve to have because you're the richest country in the world and your politicians are so corrupt that they don't give a shit. They're not even going to give you healthcare.
Oh, yes, I'm a real Canadian. I am a real Canadian.
100% Canadian.
Oh, yes, born and bred.
Yes, I'm a real Canadian.
A Canadian.
Canadian.
Real Canadian from Toronto.
That's just laughable.
I just laugh.
I find it inaccurate, exaggerated.
To be honest with you, I laugh too when I'm on Twitter or on YouTube comments and I'm arguing with Americans about healthcare. I just laugh because they just brainwash you. Now, don't get me wrong. I know there's a lot of Americans who understand, but the ones who don't and are brainwashed, it's laughable.
We get a little exercised when we watch the partisans take over the discussion about healthcare and drag our system in as some kind of boogeyman.
How could you possibly trash being taken care of? Your whole family, 100% all the time.
Because they don't know.
I think it's crazy to trash the Canadian system. It's a great system. It offers us alternatives. I think for the average person, it's a level of comfort.
When Americans trash our healthcare system, it hurts a bit because I don't think they're getting the full picture or understand the system at all.
It would be helpful to the discussion if they knew what they were talking about, if they'd had real experience here.
I found out I have a hyperactive thyroid, so I was losing weight, and I wasn't sure what it was.
The last 9 years I've had knee replacement.
Yeah, well, 2 years ago I had breast cancer. So.
I'm hearing impaired.
A few problems with circulation.
Colon cancer.
And pulmonary embolism.
Cysts removed and open heart surgery.
And so I called my doctor and went to see her, and then she sort of made an assessment, sent me for blood work.
And I just called my local hearing center, and the government pays for it.
I wasn't happy with what they had to say, and I went to London, Ontario.
And they phoned Wednesday for me to be in Toronto on Friday at noon to see the surgeon.
I had surgery, I had chemotherapy, I had radiation, and I did not pay a cent.
And I did not pay a cent. And I did not pay a cent. And you guys are spending 60% of your taxes, I think it is, on war. War that's not going to do anything in your lives. It's just screwing you guys. War is to help the elite, to help the rich get richer while they screw you over. It's sad, man.
For any of that. There's no money, no credit card, nothing exchanged.
The medical bill is picked up.
It's paid for.
You don't pay anything, you show your card.
In a normal situation, you would pay nothing for a doctor's visit. You were referred to a specialist, that would cost you nothing. If you went to a hospital for a procedure, that would cost you nothing, although increasingly sometimes there are additional costs for things like, meals, or your wife is probably going to have to pay to park.
Guys, number one reason for people going bankrupt in America is medical bills. It's unbelievable as a Canadian to sit here and even imagine that that is the number one reason of why Americans go bankrupt. It's so sad to see, man.
There's no... What are you talking about?
What does copay mean?
By copay? I'm not sure what you mean by copay.
I don't know what a copay is.
Copay, I thought, was a drink you used to get with an umbrella in it.
If you ask a Canadian what copay is, they'll look at you like you have three heads. No one here knows what a copay is. When I first heard that word, I had no idea what it was. Okay, there's no such thing as copay. There's no such thing as that, okay? Copay. It does sound like a fucking drink, to be honest with you. And one of the biggest myths that I hear coming from across the border is we can't choose our doctors, which is total bullshit. We can choose any doctor we want. There is no such thing as not being able to choose our doctors, okay?
You're free to use any doctor you want.
I have my own doctor.
Yes, you can choose your own doctor. I have a GP that I go to, and if I have something that I need a specialist for, there's a list of doctors in the area, and if I'm not happy with them, I can get a second opinion and go to a bigger city, Toronto.
I've never had it happen where I've asked for a particular doctor and not been able to get that doctor.
Okay, the other biggest myth. Do we wait? You have these people who are brainwashing you into thinking that we wait for hours upon hours to see. That is not true. That is total bullshit, total horse shit. Okay, that does not happen here. If I want to go see a doctor tomorrow, I can go see a doctor tomorrow. Now, seeing your own doctor, for example, if you were to get sick and you wanted to go in that day, yeah, he might be booked that day, but I'm sure that happens everywhere, even in America. So you'd get to see him the next day or the day after that. Usually the next day. I've never not been able to see him the next day. But if you don't want to wait, you can just go into a walk-in clinic. A walk-in clinic is just basically clinics all over the place where you can just go in and see a doctor and they can treat you if you don't want to wait to go see your doctor at that point. But there is no such thing. Now, elective surgery, yes, you might have to wait because it works in terms of if someone has a heart condition and you have a knee condition, then the person with the heart condition is going to go before the guy with the knee condition, which is common sense. Okay? So, wake up, people.
Not an indecent length of time.
And if you're concerned about something, I've always got in usually same day, sometime next day.
Sometimes it can take a few days, a couple of days.
Generally, you can get in to see your primary care physician quite quickly. But if he's out of town, if he's not available, if he's booked solid and can't see you, you would then go to the emergency department, see another doctor, and that doctor would treat you.
There can be some waits, but I don't think they're excessive. We hear about these stories of long waits, but I don't know anyone who has had a serious medical problem because they've had to wait too long.
If you're sick that morning, you can usually get in that day or in the next day or two. Absolutely.
If you have elective type things, you're going to have to wait a while.
Delay is more a case of priority. It's a triage thing. If someone comes into the queue ahead of you with a far more urgent need, they'll be taken first.
And if I had to have an operation that couldn't be done in Canada and had to go to the States for it, they'd pay for part of it. Most of it.
I've heard of cases where the system may be busy in Canada and they would refer you for that treatment in the United States.
There are some cases where the government system in Canada will pay for a Canadian to go, say, to the United States and have something done.
Now, personally, I don't know anyone who's had that happen to, but I'm sure there is cases that happens, but Canada still pays for it. They still pay for it. So, it's crazy to think that you guys are fighting with your insurance companies on your health. It's so sad to see, man. Oh, man, I hope this... I'm doing this video to get rid of some of the myths, because you guys are being brainwashed, and hopefully to shed some light on you guys trying to fight for Trumpcare and Ryancare and Obamacare. It's all bullshit. Obamacare, Ryancare, Trumpcare, it's all full of shit, okay? They can spend billions and trillions of dollars on war, but yet they tell you they can't afford to give you guys health care? Wow, what a joke. It's a joke.
We all say, because my husband has a lot of American cousins, we're always like, we're so glad we're Canadian.
Why shouldn't we look after one another? Who likes to see children suffer?
And by the way, I don't want this to be like a I'm going against America video and trashing America, because that's not what I'm trying to do here. I just want to help, to be quite honest with you. I want to shed some light on how it works here, and we're not no socialist country. I have every freedom in the world. I'm sure every American who's come here realizes that. If you're in New York or in Toronto, you wouldn't even know the difference in some areas. Okay, so...
Canadians would tell you they got very good health care. When you look at the track record of the system, when you look at the efficiency of the system and how many people it processes and the outcomes...
You have enough worries when your child gets sick, but imagine that financial burden. We don't have that. We haven't even heard of that.
Something like 92% of Canadians are happy with their health care.
It's like you're living in a third world country. You have nowhere to go. Where's the safety net? We just go and you're taken care of and everybody is treated the same, and that's what a democratic society is, isn't it?
And that's what a democratic society is. And that's what it is, isn't it? Guys, please fight for your right out there. I'm trying to help. I'm trying to help and fight. This is why I support the Justice Democrats, for example, who support universal health care and pretty much support every kind of Bernie Sanders policy put forward. These are not radical ideas. These are not even progressive ideas. In Canada, those are moderate ideas. People don't even... We don't even fight for those. Those things are done, gone with. We already had this stuff you're trying to fight for years already, okay? If our conservative government even tried to even whisper of them trying to take away our healthcare system, they would be demolished. There would be no more conservative party in this country, okay? And for most of the stuff that we already have. So when you guys talk about radical and pie in the sky, they're just telling you bullshit. And stop believing them, man. I hope this video showed that Canada healthcare system is not perfect, absolutely not. And you might find a couple of disgruntled Canadians here and there who have to wait for elective surgery. But at the end of the day, ask them if they want to pay tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars to get medical done to them, okay? They do not. They love their Canadian healthcare system. Mostly every Canadian does. So I hope to shed a light. This is one of the like I said, this is one of the reasons I support the Justice Democrats and trying to fight against corruption, trying to fight against the Democratic Party so that you guys can have universal health care, which you should have had years ago. I'll have all the links in my description for the Justice Democrats, for example, if you want to get involved. The video of them explaining what they are will be also in the link in the description. And I hope I helped, man. I hope I shed some light. I hope, because I did have a couple of people ask me on Twitter and YouTube about how the healthcare system works here. So when I seen this video, I thought it was the perfect video to explain exactly how it does work here. And I hope it helped. And I hope we can fight to beat these guys. Thanks, guys. Remember, guys, please hit that subscribe button. Also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and follow the Justice Democrats. All the links will be in the description, so you don't have very far to go. Thanks.